Did you know the U.S. Department of Education hasn't always been around? It was created with a specific purpose in mind, but people still debate whether it's doing its job today. So what is this department really about, and why is it so controversial? Let's break down its history, duties, and some of the biggest arguments surrounding it. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to enjoy more great U.S. history content. The U.S. Department of Education was established in 1979 and officially began its work in 1980. It was created under President Jimmy Carter, who made it happen by signing it into law. This fulfilled a campaign promise for Carter, as he had vowed to create the Department of Education in hopes to win the support of teachers' unions. The main goal of creating this department was to coordinate federal aid to schools, make sure everyone has equal access to education, and help improve the quality of education across the country. Back then, the idea was to have one central place focused on education policymaking. The department was supposed to make sure all students, no matter where they live or what their background is, could get a quality education. But what does the Department of Education actually do today? Well, it has some big responsibilities. One of the main things it does is set policies on how federal money for education gets used. It also gathers information and does research on schools across America, looking at how well they're doing and where improvements are needed. Another important job is making sure everyone has equal access to education. That means enforcing federal laws against discrimination. The department also creates programs to help students succeed, especially those from underserved communities. Additionally, the Department of Education has had some important accomplishments over the years. For example, it helped establish the Pell Grant program, which has provided financial aid to millions of low-income students so they can afford college. It also played a key role in creating the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act IDEA, making sure students with disabilities have the right to a free and appropriate public education. On top of that, it has led efforts to improve school safety, advance civil rights protections, and promote educational technology to enhance learning experiences. But here's the big question. Is it doing enough? Or is it even doing the right things? That's where the controversies come in. One major issue is the fight over how much control the federal government should have over education versus how much power should be left to individual states. Some people believe education should be a local matter and that the federal government is overstepping. Others think a national approach is necessary to make sure everyone gets a fair shot at quality education. Then there's the argument over money. Some say the department's budget is too big, while others think it's not nearly enough. And what about standardized testing? Many feel the Department of Education focuses too much on tests to measure progress, which doesn't always show the full picture of how well schools are doing. Some critics even argue that politics play too big a role in education policies. And despite the department's efforts, many feel it hasn't truly improved the quality of education in the country. They question whether its existence has really made a difference or just added more bureaucracy to the system. During Donald Trump's first term as president, there were efforts to shrink the Department of Education's role or even eliminate it altogether. Trump repeatedly called for cutting its budget and giving more power back to the states, arguing that local control of education would be more effective. His administration proposed merging the Department of Education with the Department of Labor, a move that was heavily debated and never fully implemented. But the push to dismantle or reduce the department's authority brought even more attention to the ongoing debate about federal versus state control. During Trump's second term as president, he signed an executive order severely limiting the responsibilities of the Department of Education in an aim to return power over education back to the states and local communities. The full breadth and depth of the changes are still to be determined, but the Trump administration intends to continue support for K through 12 students with special needs, college student borrowers, Title I funding, and others who rely on essential programs. The intent of the executive order is to reduce federal government spending on Department of Education programs that are viewed as ineffective and eliminate federal government administrative burdens that hinder teachers and schools. However, congressional approval would be required to fully dismantle the organization. So, what do you think? Is the Department of Education a helpful tool that's still working toward its original purpose? Or has it become part of the problem it was created to fix? We want to hear from you in the comments. And if you enjoyed this U.S. history deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more great history content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.